welcome back to the Voice of Caye Caulker. As I said earlier, we will be bringing you live updates on the Solagua Project. We're here at the site, and I have next to me the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Jose Mai, and the CEO of Agriculture, Mr. Servulo Baeza. Good morning, gentlemen. We're going to be speaking with them and getting their input on how they feel about the Solagua Project. So let's have a discussion with them. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
So being that we understand how important agriculture is for everyone, especially in Caye Caulker, there are many people who might not understand how important it is. Can you explain why agriculture is so important to our living?
Well, first and foremost, it is nice to be in Caye Caulker on this particular subject, agriculture. Well, agriculture first and foremost for us is food security. It provides food for all of us. Second, it provides income to families. And third, it provides foreign exchange earning. So that's important for us. So those three elements are important. So agriculture in Caye Caulker is of even greater importance. Linking agriculture with the tourism sector is critical for us if we are to move our country forward economically, especially in this post-COVID era.
Mr. Servulo, having been the CEO of Agriculture, can you give us input on what the state of the overall agriculture is in Belize?
Certainly, we have, I think, agriculture in this particular time right now of the COVID pandemic has been shown to be one of the most, if not one of the most important pillars of our economy. It really kept our country going. Again, as the Minister mentioned, it provides food security. We are self-sufficient in quite a few of our products, and we are venturing into others and trying to expand the production of some of our basic products such as potatoes and onions, which we can only produce for a certain period of time because of our climate. But in all other vegetables, we are self-sufficient. We are self-sufficient in our grains, in our beans. We are self-sufficient in our meats. So we can see that agriculture is very important to our economy. It really was sustaining us during this very difficult time right now.
Honorable Mai, can you give me an input on how you feel about this particular Solagua project, having had a discussion with the founder?
Well, let me tell you, I was reading on the mission, the vision of Solagua, and it's pretty much consistent with our agriculture policy. When you read the mission, the vision, it is a lot like what we have been planning. As a matter of fact, our Ministry of Agriculture has in its plan right now and is in the process of implementing greenhouse technology in rural areas and even in urban and in schools. Because with climate change, the conventional agriculture has to change. Farmers are losing money every year. If it's not because of a drought, it's because of excess rainfall. You have excess rainfall, you have pests, you have diseases. So greenhouse technology gives us that opportunity, gives the farmer an opportunity to mitigate the effects of climate change. So within the climate change scope, we have included greenhouse technology. We have included at the schools, we have a plan to construct greenhouses in certain schools so that children can also understand the importance of agriculture. So it is perfectly in order what they are doing. We support this kind of investment. We support this kind of venture, especially in Caye Caulker. I said to someone yesterday, I'm traveling to Caye Caulker to look at greenhouse technology and agriculture. I said, hold on, you're sure you're going to Caye Caulker? I said, yes, I'm going to Caye Caulker. And I'm here and I'm seeing it. I think they are well poised to what they're doing, they're well focused. And I think once we do that, once you know what you want to do, I think it can be done. And we have always had this weakness, this disconnect between the productive sector and tourism, and it should never be so. Tourism, they eat food, the tourists eat food. So this is a perfect opportunity. COVID came and it allowed us to see things from a different perspective. Now we are linking the agriculture sector with the tourism sector, and that is very important. I mean, the people in San Pedro, Caye Caulker, the tourists here, they want good food. Some of them want organic food. Organic foods have higher value. So this provides an opportunity for those tourists. It provides a great business opportunity for whoever's doing it. So I think that we're pretty much on the right track here.
You mentioned something very important, that agriculture links to tourism, and this is a question to the both of you, so both of you feel free to give your input. What is your prediction, given that Caye Caulker specifically is a tourist destination? What is your prediction in the agricultural state for the next 10 to 20 years? If you both are the experts.
Well, let me tell you, the world will always need food. COVID yes or COVID no, the world will need food. You will recall, during COVID, everybody was shut down. The only people who kept going were the farmers, producing because they need food. If you are sick, you need food. And if you're not sick, you still need food. So agriculture can only grow, but it has to grow in a sustainable manner. Land is limited. Land is not growing. So again, this technology allows us to produce more in a smaller surface area. Agriculture in the future can only grow. The populations are growing. As a matter of fact, years ago, they predicted at the rate of which the population was growing, that we run out of food because wheat, corn, and other staple crops, the yields are not increasing. But thanks to the green revolution, we have solved that problem. But again, it has to be done in a sustainable manner. Agriculture can only grow, but it must grow in this type of environment, in this type of technology. You cannot be clearing every piece of tree, and every tree cannot be removed and plant agriculture. We're just hurting ourselves. So it must be done in a sustainable manner. And again, I think we're on the right track here.
CEO?
I think that for us in Belize, I think we're poised to, moving forward in adapting technology and climate smart agriculture. That is the way we need to go. We're certainly in the ministry, we're excited about what we are seeing in terms of different areas and different products that we are looking at and promoting. For instance, Minister yesterday was visiting a Peter Haya farm. So we're looking at new products and different things that we need to do. I must stress that the importance of linking the tourism sector with the agriculture sector is very important, because it can give us that leap or that jump into being able to export some of our products, not only to feed ourselves, but also to make that leap into exportation of some of our products. So I'm very excited about agriculture right now, because I feel that we are going to be taking some very innovative steps, taking some initiatives right now that will really grow the agricultural sector and will really contribute to our economy, contribute to employment, contribute to poverty reduction, and all of the goals that this administration has.
Last question, gentlemen, and I ask this because you all being the Minister and CEO of Agriculture, this should be highlighted to the public. What are some of those initiatives that you all will be taking? Because you both do sound excited about agriculture. Initiatives in growing agriculture for Belize.
Well, the first things we need to do is, and this is, what should I say to you? It's a little out of agriculture, but we have to first look at the cost of doing business in Belize, the cost of agriculture. The cost of doing business in Belize is expensive. So we are looking at ways, the possibility of removing taxes from certain products used to produce food, materials used to produce food. For example, greenhouse equipment, greenhouse materials, they do not pay. They should not pay import taxes, import duties. You can consider GST, you can look at environmental taxes, but we are looking at reducing the import taxes on these products. Right now, irrigation equipment, we looked at the high cost, how it was classified. It was under hoses, and hoses paid taxes. So that has been cleared up. So now irrigation tubing, flexible tubing with certain amounts of pressure are not charged import duty. So these are the things we're looking at. Everything that we use to produce food is supposed to pay less import taxes. So we're working on that. We're looking at finding new commodities, niche markets for our commodities. We said dragon fruit. Dragon fruit is an excellent product for small farmers. We're looking at soursop that have tremendous potential. These commodities are produced in small quantities. Small, too small for the people like Dole and Del Monte to compete, but good size for our farmers in our country. So we are looking at those alternatives. We are looking to strengthening our extension service, educate our farmers, educate our extension services, so that we have better farmers, we have greater yields, and we import less, we export more. I think that's what we want to do in the future.
CEO?
So one of the things that we did under the minister's leadership was to restructure the ministry as soon as we get in, and so we are focusing more. Like we have one director looking at fruits and the development of new products, new commodities, as he mentioned some of them. We're looking at livestock and improving our genetics so that we can increase the quality of our beef. Again, tourists come to our country and you hear that they want quality meats and stuff. So we need to improve our genetics or farmers or good practices so that we can provide those kind of products. And greenhouse, implementing new technologies. So greenhouse, we have quite a few projects that will be coming on stream throughout the country, and certainly looking at training our farmers and being able to adapt to these new technologies and innovations that we have, no? To increase our production, not only increase production but also our quality, so that we can certainly supply the tourism sector on the entire country, and like I said, make that leap into be able to do some exports also.
Thank you very much, then, gentlemen. This was quite an enlightening discussion, and it's going to be very interesting to see the growth of the agricultural ministry under both your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So I am now speaking with the founder of the Solagua Project, Miss Elizabeth Meeker. She's going to tell us a little bit about the project, and I'm going to ask her a few questions that I feel are in your head. So good morning, Miss Meeker.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us. First of all, can you tell us what the Solagua Project is all about, and what was the impetus for you to start this project?
Sure. Well, I'll start with why I started. This project was actually born out of COVID. I already owned the property, and I had planned on developing it into an Airbnb mini resort. As part of that, I was going to have a small hydroponic greenhouse for my guests. Being out on the North Key, having fresh produce out here is a challenge, so that was part of the niche for the property that I was developing. When COVID hit, I watched what happened in Belize. I was still in the States at the time. I saw what happened in Belize with many of the districts being locked down, unable to move their produce from district to district. And I also saw the really difficult time that the Keys had. Barge traffic was slowed. Fresh produce was extremely difficult to get a hold of. And then that was compounded by economic difficulties because so many people were unemployed from the loss of tourism. So even though I saw there were soup kitchens and food banks here trying to help people, I knew that wasn't a long-term solution. So I started trying to understand what we could do to have fresh food here and not get in that position again, and also see if we could get people back to work. So I was able to connect with a wonderful commercial grower in the Caribbean, and Solagua Project was born from there. So we will be growing hydroponically, and when the greenhouse is constructed, we will be the first Category 5 hurricane rated, climate smart hydroponic greenhouse in Belize.
You mentioned a hydroponic growth. Can you explain a little bit more on what that technology is?
Sure. Hydroponics is simply growing in water instead of soil. There's a lot of benefits to hydroponics, especially being where we are. We have no arable soil here in Caye Caulker. So if you want to grow anything here, you either can only grow what will tolerate this sand or you haul soil in. And that's not necessarily feasible when you want to grow large scale operations. That's a lot of soil to maintain, and there can be other problems that can come from that. Any leaching that you have could impact the reef. So there's a lot of considerations. So we are choosing to grow hydroponically, but it's not just because of where we are. It's also because of the very high yields. Hydroponics actually uses less water than traditional soil. I know people find that hard to believe, but that's true. And we can grow faster. So we will be able to harvest about 1,300 pounds of produce every single month from what you see in these staked areas here. This will be a 1,500 square foot greenhouse, and we will be growing about 1,300 pounds every month just in this small space.
What are some of the produce that you will be growing?
So one thing about hydroponics is we can change our crop inputs very quickly because we have a 30-day growth cycle. So we're going to start with what we're going to call our sample crop so we can let the community tell us what they want us to grow. To get started, we're going to offer a nice variety of greens, baby greens, microgreens, lettuces, herbs, peppers, and tomatoes. But one interesting thing, and I think a lot of people here in Caye Caulker especially would look forward to this, we can actually grow berries hydroponically. So there's a lot of people that have asked when we can start growing berries so we can have good fresh berries out here.
Well, it's noticeable that it's quite a big investment. What's the investment in such a project like this for people who may be watching, who might, get an idea of wanting to do the same thing in their own way?
So it's not an inexpensive investment, but it does pay for itself. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that the rate of return for hydroponics in general, not just my facility, but they do have a high rate of return. The vegetables are higher quality and they're organic, so they can pull a higher price. So when we talk about the investment cost, it's important to understand that it will pay for itself. So initially, the initial investment is probably going to be about 250,000 Belize to get us started. But we will be operating solar, and we will also be including a monitoring system in our greenhouse.
Final question. In your summary, it states that you will be providing jobs, that this is a great way to provide jobs for people who may be into agriculture or want to learn or are studying agriculture. What are some of those jobs that can be acquired in this field?
So first of all, right off the bat, we will be hiring a greenhouse manager once we begin construction. So we will have someone who will actually do the planting, the monitoring of the system, maintaining it, and doing the harvesting. And so that's one job. We expect to be able to expand very quickly, so that person would need an assistant. So first we're looking at greenhouse staff. We're also we have administrative staff here, so we have the opportunity to put people back into just a business setting. And then we're also going to be setting up for distribution. So the jobs are abundant here. Just in this facility, we can put 6 to 10 people back to work.
Thank you very much, Ms. Meeker. One more little thing. If anyone wants to contact the Solagua Project, how can they do so?
So the best way to contact us is through operations at Solagua, and that's SOLAGUA project.org.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Meeker, for speaking with me, and good luck on this project. It's a wonderful initiative for Caye Caulker, and the island will benefit greatly from it. So thank you.
Thank you very much.